everyone, this is Pragya Pandey from RAO'S Academy for Competitive Exams Bhopal, and this is our special series on daily news review. Without wasting any time, let's see what is in the news. Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi launched 5G services in India. He also unveiled 5G use cases in various telecom services providers in education, health, work, safety, smart agriculture, etc. He also launched indigenous 5G NSA co-developed by Center for Development of Telematics and witnessed various technology demonstration of enterprises 5G solution chipset networking equipment developed by Indian telecom startups, MSME and large manufacturers. चलिए न्यूज़ को पूरे तरीके से समझने से पहले एक बार ये समझ लेते हैं व्हाट इज़ 5G. So 5G is the next generation of mobile broadband that will eventually replace or at least augmented 4G LTE connections. अगर हम इसके फीचर्स और बेनिफिट की बात करें, so it operates in the millimeter wave spectrum that is around 30 to 300 gigahertz, which has the advantage of sending large amount of data at very high speed. It also operates in three bands, namely low, mid and high frequency spectrum. चलिए न्यूज़ की तरफ वापस आते हैं, तो जो भी इस इवेंट के इस लॉन्चिंग इवेंट की हाइलाइट्स थे उन्हें एक बार समझ लेते हैं. सो प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी called the launch as a revolution. That is a new India. The country is no longer just a consumer of technology but a contributor to its development too. At the time of the launch of 2G, 3G and 4G services, India was dependent on other countries, but with 5G, the country is setting foot in a new historic era and in leading globally. साथ ही अगर हम 5G टेक्नोलॉजी हमें क्या बेनिफिट देगा या क्या अमेजिंग चीज़ें प्रोवाइड करने वाला है उसके बारे में समझ लेते हैं. सो इट विल प्रोवाइड अस अ सीमलेस कवरेज, ऑल्सो द हाई डेटा रेट with the low latency and highly reliable. It will also increase energy efficiency, spectrum efficiency and network efficiency. एक बार evolution देख लेते हैं कि फिफ्थ जनरेशन तक का जो हमने सफ़र किया है वो कैसे किया. So सबसे पहले it was 1G that was launched in 1980s and worked on analog radio signals and only supported voice calls. When it comes to 2G, it was launched in 1990, which uses digital radio signal and supports both voice call and data transmission with the bandwidth of 64 kbps. आज की डेट में 64 kbps इमेजिन करना is quite impossible. चलिए, moving to the 3G that was launched in 2000 with a speed of 1 Mbps and 2 Mbps, and it has the ability to transmit telephone signals including digitalized voice, video calls and conferencing. And the last one is the 4G that was launched in 2009 with a peak speed of 100 Mbps to 1 Gbps, and it also enables 3D virtual reality. देखिए 5G का इंडिया में आना इज़ वेरी रिवॉल्यूशनरी, क्योंकि जो हमारे प्रधानमंत्री जी का विजन है लाइक आत्मनिर्भर भारत, डिजिटल इंडिया, जय अनुसंधान एंड सबका साथ सबका विकास, ये तभी पॉसिबल है जब हमारे पास एक हाई क्वालिटी टेक्नोलॉजी होगी, और वो पॉसिबल हो पाएगी 5G की मदद से. अगर हम डिजिटल इंडिया प्रोग्राम के बारे में यहाँ पर थोड़ा सा बात करने की कोशिश करें, तो वी ऑल शुड रिमेंबर दैट डिजिटल इंडिया प्रोग्राम हमारा स्टार्ट हुआ था 2015 में. द प्रोग्राम हैज़ बीन इनेबल्ड फॉर सेवरल इम्पॉर्टेंट गवर्नमेंट स्कीम्स लाइक भारत नेट, मेक इन इंडिया, स्टार्टअप इंडिया, स्टैंड अप इंडिया, इंडस्ट्रियल कॉरिडोर्स एंड सो ऑन. सो इसके अगर हम विजन की बात करें तो इसका जो बेसिक एम था that was the digital infrastructure as utility to each and every citizen. Also गवर्नमेंट की जितनी सर्विसेज हैं उनको ऑन डिमांड डिजिटल मोड पे लोगों के पास तक पहुंचाना, साथ ही जो सिटीजन्स हैं उनको डिजिटली एम्पावर करना. अगर हम इसके ऑब्जेक्टिव्स के बारे में बात करें तो इसका मेन ऑब्जेक्टिव था इंडिया को नॉलेज फ्यूचर के लिए प्रिपेयर करना, ऑल्सो for being transformative, that it to realize that IT, that is Indian talent, plus IT, that is information and technology, मिलकर बना देंगे IT, that is India tomorrow. So moving further, that Digital India aims to provide the much needed thrust to the 9 pillars of growth. इनमें से कुछ पिलर्स के बारे में हम यहाँ ब्रीफली डिस्कस करेंगे, बट जो 9 पिलर्स हैं वो आप सभी को पता होना चाहिए. दोज आर ब्रॉडबैंड हाईवेज, यूनिवर्सल एक्सेस टू मोबाइल कनेक्टिविटी, पब्लिक इंटरेस्ट एक्सेस प्रोग्राम्स, ई गवर्नेंस, रिफॉर्मिंग गवर्नमेंट थ्रू टेक्नोलॉजी, ई क्रांति, इंफॉर्मेशन फॉर ऑल, इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स मैन्युफैक्चरिंग, IT फॉर जॉब्स, अर्ली हार्वेस्ट प्रोग्राम्स. सो यहाँ पर 4 पिलर्स के बारे में बात की गई है, दैट इज कॉस्ट ऑफ द डिवाइस. देखिए, विद आत्मनिर्भर भारत द कॉस्ट ऑफ डिवाइसेस कैन बी रिड्यूस टू द लार्ज एक्सटेंट. In the year 2014, there were 2 mobiles manufacturing units in the country, whereas presently there are 200 manufacturing units. India is now at second position in the world for manufacturing of mobile, and it is a large exporter of mobile as well. Next is digital connectivity. Countries has made a huge progress in 2014 when there were 6 crore broadband users, which has now increased to 80 crore users. Approximately hundreds DPS were connected with OFCs in the country, and now more than 1,70,000 GPS in the country are connected with OFC. Internet users in the rural area of the countries are growing at the faster rate than the urban area, and somehow it is fulfilling the vision of digital India, that it should reach to each and every person. और जब आपके देश का विकास गांवों तक पहुंच जाता है, दैट मीन्स वो सही राह पर है. नेक्स्ट इज कॉस्ट ऑफ डेटा. So the cost of data has reduced from 300 per GB in 2014 to rupees 10 rupees per GB in 2022. So the average data used per person is 14 GB per month, and reduction in cost of data has brought considerably saving per month for citizens. The next and the last one is idea of digital form. Many people carried the opinion that the rural poor of this country will not be able to adopt the digital technology. But the citizens, particularly the rural people, have made these assumptions wrong. Rural India is fast adopting the digital technology and internet in their daily lives, और ये सक्सेस स्टोरी बताता है डिजिटल इंडिया की. चलिए मूविंग ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट न्यूज़. इंदौर फिर 6वीं बार बन गया है क्लीनेस्ट सिटी ऑफ द इंडिया, और मध्य प्रदेश रैंक्स द फर्स्ट अमंग द स्टेट. सूरत इज द सेकंड क्लीनेस्ट सिटी, एंड नवी मुंबई केम अ क्लोज थर्ड इन द कैटेगरी ऑफ सिटीज विद अ पॉपुलेशन मोर देन अ lakh. चलिए मूविंग ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट न्यूज़. India abstains from UNSC resolution condemning Russia's annexation of parts of Ukraine. The resolution tabled by the US and Albania could not be adopted as Russia voted it. It was supported by 10 of the 15 members of the Council, while China, Gabon, India, and Brazil abstained. Earlier as well, India has abstained on votes at the United Nations Security Council and the United Nations General Assembly on resolution pertaining to Russia's invasion of Ukraine. It has also not publicly condemned the Russia invasion of Ukraine, although it has called for an independent probe in the Bucha massacre. यूएनएससी और यूनाइटेड नेशन जनरल असेंबली को हम अपने प्रीवियस वीडियोस में बहुत ब्रीफली कवर कर चुके हैं. विल शेयर द लिंक इन द डिस्क्रिप्शन बॉक्स. गो थ्रू इट एंड लर्न अबाउट यूएनएससी एंड यूनाइटेड नेशन जनरल असेंबली. चलिए मूविंग ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट न्यूज़. 62% of rural households in India have fully functional tap water connection within their premises, says Water Resource Ministry report. Tamil Nadu, Himachal Pradesh, Goa, and Puducherry reported more than 80% of households with fully functional connection, while less than half of the household in Rajasthan, Kerala, Manipur, Tripura, Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, Mizoram, and Sikkim had such connections. देखिए, जब भी टैप वाटर के बारे में बात होती है, हमें जल जीवन मिशन के बारे में याद रखना बहुत ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है. This mission is envisioned to provide safe and adequate drinking water through individual household tap connection by 2024 to all household in rural India. इनका जो फोकस एरिया था वो था रिचार्ज एंड रीयूज थ्रू ग्रे वाटर मैनेजमेंट, वाटर कंजर्वेशन, रेन वाटर हार्वेस्टिंग. साथ ही इस पर्टिकुलर मॉडल ने कम्युनिटी बेस्ड अप्रोच को अपनाया था, लाइक कि कम्युनिटीज़ को आगे लाना, उन्हें एजुकेट करना, और जो जन आंदोलन है वो वाटर के लिए यहाँ पर क्रिएट करना। सो इनका एम ही था टू क्रिएट अ जन आंदोलन फॉर वाटर, देयर बाय मेकिंग इट एवरी वंस प्रायोरिटी एज वेल। जल जीवन मिशन के फैक्चुअल डेटा के बारे में बात करें तो इसे 15 अगस्त 2019 को लॉन्च किया गया था, अगेन विद द मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ जल शक्ति। इसका जो फंडिंग पैटर्न था दैट वाज ऑन द शेयरिंग बेसिस, लाइक बिटवीन द सेंटर एंड स्टेट। इसी के साथ वाटर कंजर्वेशन के कुछ और भी कैंपेन है जो हमारे एग्जामिनेशन पॉइंट से बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाते हैं, एक एक करके उनको समझ लेते हैं। तो सबसे पहले यहाँ पर आ जाता है जल शक्ति अभियान। So Ministry of Jal Shakti launched this Jal Shakti Abhiyan. This campaign for water conservation and water security, it run through citizen participation while focuses on water stressed district and block in the country. Whereas the Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sachai Yojana, that is PMKSY, इसका नारा ही था हर खेत को पानी एंड मोर क्रॉप पर ड्रॉप, दैट फोकसेस ऑन इम्प्रूविंग वाटर यूज एफिशिएंसी। नेक्स्ट वाज द अटल भूजल योजना दैट एम्स टू प्रमोट सस्टेनेबल ग्राउंड वाटर मैनेजमेंट with community participation in select over-exploited and water-stressed areas. Along with these, you can also read about Jal Kranti Abhiyan and National Water Mission, etc. Additionally, you should also know that Madhya Pradesh became the first state that has drafted a right to water legislation that promises a minimum 55 liters a day per person to the states. जब यहाँ पर right to water के बारे में बात हुई है तो हम इससे वाटर से रिलेटेड क्या कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल प्रोविजन हमारे पास है, हम उन्हें समझ लेते हैं। तो सबसे पहले हमारे पास आ जाते हैं फंडामेंटल राइट्स। So water is the basic need for the survival of human being, and it is the part of right to life as enshrined in the Article 21 that you should remember. Whereas entry 56 of Union List that says that central government can regulate and develop interstate rivers and river valley to the extent determined by the parliament as expedient in the public interest, whereas entry 17 of the state list also deals with the water supply, irrigation, canal drainage, embankment, water storage, and water power. So moving on to the next news. National education policy prescribed no language state can choose, says center's high-powered committee. The Ministry of Education in November 2021 constituted a high-powered committee, the Bharatiya Bhasha Samiti, for the promotion of Indian languages that is led by the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh, affiliated Sanskrit proponent and Padma Shri awardee Chamu Krishna Shastri. The committee is tasked with preparing an action plan for the growth of Indian languages as prescribed under National Education Policy 2020, which requires mother tongue to be the medium of instruction in school and higher education in institution. Chamu Krishna Shastri, the head of the high-powered Bharatiya Bhasha Samiti, said that state will have the freedom to choose the language of instruction in the democratic and decentralized process laid out in the national education policy, that dismissing the assumption of imposing the languages. Key highlights देख लेते हैं NEP, that is New Education Policy. So it ensures the universal access at all levels of education. Also, about 2 crore out of school children will be brought back into the mainstream under the NEP 2020. Along with that, this emphasis on the early childhood care and education. So, the 10 plus 2 structure of the school curriculum is to be replaced by the 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 curricular structure that is corresponding to the ages of 3 to 8 years, 8 to 11 years, 11 to 14 years, and 14 to 18 years respectively. Along with that, the new system will have 12 years of schooling with 3 years of Anganwadi or preschooling. Along with this, the policy also emphasized on the mother tongue, local language, and regional language as the medium of instruction at least till grade 5, but preferably till the grade 8 and beyond. Sanskrit to be offered at all levels of school and higher education as an option for a student, including the three language formula. Other classical language and literatures of India also to be available as options, and no language will be imposed on any students. सो NEP के बारे में आप डिटेल में देख सकते हैं हमारी अभी तक की एजुकेशन पॉलिसीज़ क्या रही हैं या उनकी हिस्ट्री क्या है, उस क्रोनोलॉजी को आपको जानना बहुत ज़रूरी है। चलिए आगे बढ़ते हैं अगली न्यूज़ की तरफ। The Supreme Court on Friday ruled that prevention detention is a serious invasion of personal liberty, and therefore whatever little safeguard the Constitution and the law authorize such action provide must be strictly adhered to. Let's see what is in the news exactly. A bench led by Chief Justice UU Lalit and Justice Ravindra Bhatt and JB Pardiwala said while questioning the detention of a person under the Prevention of Illicit Trafficking NDPS Act 1988. The top court observed on Friday that an unreasonable and unexplained delay in the securing a detenue and detaining a person vitiates the detention order. The bench referred to the 1982 Supreme Court decision in the Ashok Kumar versus Delhi administration case, which said that prevention detention is a device to afford protection to society. The objective is not to punish a man for having done something but to intercept before he does it and to prevent him from doing it. Let's understand detention here. देखिए कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल प्रोविजन को यहाँ पर समझ लेते हैं। सो आर्टिकल 22 grants protection to person who are arrested or detained. Detention is usually of two types, namely punitive detention and preventive detention. Punitive detention is to punish a person for an offense committed by him after trial and conviction in the court, whereas preventive detention, as the name says, preventive, prevent करना है किसी चीज़ को होने के पहले, so it is a arrest before crime. It is only a precautionary measure and based on suspicion. It is done in order to prevent a crime like TADA, MISA, NSA, POTA, NDPS, etc. India is the only democratic country that allows preventive detention. There are certain constitutional safeguards that are provided against the arrest. As per Article 22, that provides for protection to persons who are arrested or detained, that no person who is arrested shall be retained in custody without being informed of the ground of such arrest. Other than that, further right to consult and be defended by a lawyer of his choice. The arrested person shall be produced before the nearest magistrate within 24 hours of his arrest. However, while calculating 24 hours, the time taken to travel from one place of detention to the nearest magistrate should not be taken into the account. Lastly, no person shall be detained in custody beyond the period for which his detention is authorized by the judicial magistrate. Other than that, there are some other rights, those are available to an arrest person. So first of all, a woman shall not be arrested before or after sunset, except under extreme circumstances. She must be arrested by a female police officer. Also, if a woman is to be arrested before or after sunset, the permission of a judicial magistrate in form of warrant shall be obtained. Next is right of a person in preventive detention are provided under clause 4 of the article 22. Those are the person shall not be kept in preventive detention for period longer than 3 months unless an advisory board consisting of serving or retired judge of high court or person having qualification to be appointed as judge of high court approve the further detention. Whereas 44th Constitutional Amendment Act reduces the maximum period to 2 months, but it never came into force. Other than that, such further detention shall not exceed the maximum period prescribed by any law made by Parliament. The ground of detention shall be communicated to the detainee, and the detainee shall be offered an opportunity to make a representation against the detention order. So it's a quiz time, and the first question is, when did the Narcotics, Drugs and Psychotropic Substances Act 1985 came into force? Next is, which part of the Constitution has fundamental right? You can see the option on the screen. The next and the last question is, fundamental rights comes under which article? So you all know the drill. आपको correct answer हमें comment section में बताना है, and stay tuned with us to know the correct answers. So this is it for today. Join our batches for UPSC MPPSC Civil Services Examination. Seats are very limited, so hurry up. Thank you for watching this video. Do not forget to hit like button. Also comment your valuable feedback, and please press the subscribe button to never miss any update. Please follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Links are given below in the description box. Thank you and see you tomorrow.